This small talk is all about helping learners stay on task and how we can develop a systematic approach to skill development. So here students are faced with two productive tasks. So one is writing, one speaking, and these come at the end of each unit. So we're going to have a look at what we need to do, or what a course book can do for us in helping learners build towards these final tasks. So what we need as teachers is a logical, step-by-step approach to support our learners, which gradually builds up their ability and confidence in exchanging information, exchanging opinions and ideas through those productive tasks. Now we're going to have a look at the macro structure, so of a full unit, and what skills we can build up to develop with our learners throughout a unit. And we'll also have a look at the micro structure, so for an end task at the end of each unit, how we can structure that to support our learners. So let's start with the macro. So here we have the writing task, which appears at the end of the unit, Skillful Second Edition. If you want, as a teacher, you can expose them to that writing task at the start of the unit and let them know they're going to be working towards this task throughout the unit. So what do we need to do in terms of a systematic skill development to lead students in a nice guided, systematic way to this final task? So we can be developing key vocabulary, key grammar, knowledge of the topic itself, a balanced argument for answering this question, key writing skills, and importantly, a written model to help guide students. So this is what it might look like in a unit. And I'm taking these examples from Skillful Second Edition. So we start by inputting the key language. They develop topic knowledge through a video task. They develop grammar. They develop a balanced argument between two sources. So either two reading texts or two listening texts, which also integrates critical thinking to build up their opinions and a balanced argument. They then develop the writing skills before finally getting a written model from which to work from. Again, a nice, clear, scaffolded approach, or a systematic approach to developing skills to help them answer that final question. At the micro level, with that final task, here is an example of how we can structure that and guide our students to answer that question. So firstly, they apply their topic knowledge, through some brainstorm type task. They then plan, and this can be an individual or collaborative activity. They then draft their written piece, they share that, get some feedback, then they edit and rewrite. Again, a nice step-by-step process to help them answer that question. Let's have a look now at the speaking task. So again, at the macro level, like for the writing, we develop key language, topic knowledge, we develop grammar, a balanced argument through two listening texts. Then we develop pronunciation, a key speaking skill, and like with the writing, we also see a model for speaking as well to help guide our students. Let's jump down now to the micro level for this speaking lesson. Again, we see a nice systematic step-by-step approach leading towards that final spoken task. So again, students apply their topic knowledge through some brainstorming tasks. They have a collaborative planning activity. They have a chance then to present and share their ideas before then reflecting on their original ideas at the end. So how can we approach a lesson like that? We have a nice set structure from which to work from. How could we elaborate, or what kind of activities could we do at each stage of this lesson? Here are a few ideas. At the brainstorming stage, why not try post-it notes? So you could hand out post-it notes to students or groups of students. They could write one idea on each post-it note. They could then arrange those post-it notes on the table or on the board or a space in the classroom. They then arrange or classify or categorize those ideas in a maybe continuous series. They can then pick and choose the ideas which they like for the next task. Another idea for brainstorming type activities is brain writing. So each student starts with a piece of blank paper. They write down their ideas for the task here. And then after, say, 30 seconds, they stop writing and pass their piece of paper right to the next student. So everyone in the class is passing their paper to the next student. They read what the student before has written. They read silently, add their own idea to that piece of paper, and then again pass the paper right. After a few times, you can collect those papers. Students can read those papers, collate ideas, and then choose the best ideas for the next stage. So the next stage is the planning. So here they're going to plan a presentation on a park design, okay? So here again we've got some nice steps for the students. So they firstly organize a summary of the urban noise problems that they've identified from the brainstorming task. So they can choose the best ideas from that original task. They can then make notes inside of their group, okay, about how that park might be designed. For example, for each feature here, they have to give details of each feature in detail. If they want, they can get creative and develop a simple drawing of their plan as well, from which to present their ideas from. One idea now for presenting. They move on to present or share their ideas. So they've been working in an original group at the planning stage. This activity is called a rainbowing activity. So each student in the group gets a different color. Each student then reforms a new group. So they find students from other groups who have the same color. They then reform new groups with or according to those colors. They take it in turns to present their ideas to the group. They then return to the original group and compare their findings. They can then upgrade their original plan with any new ideas. Another idea here to make sure that they're all listening or all active listeners as they're sharing ideas is an activity called squares, triangles, and circle. So here they listen to everyone in the group, and as they listen, they use this shape worksheet. So they have a square, a triangle, and a circle on that worksheet. Now with the square, they choose 5 things that they hear from different people in the group which they agree with or which are in line with their own thinking. And they write those 4 things inside of the square. With the triangle, they write in 3 angles they agree or disagree with. These may be 3 details to support, or maybe 3 things for which they need more information, or maybe 3 different ways to look at the idea. Again, they write those 3 things inside the triangle. With the circle, they just write 1 question. They have now, as a result of the sharing, 1 question that's now circling in their head. They then take those shaped worksheets back to their original groups, discuss their findings, and upgrade their original plans. The activity then leads on to a reflection task. Okay, so going a bit deeper, getting them discussing about the topic from which they have been presenting. So here is an idea, an activity idea called Fishbowl, which you can use for these reflection discussion type activities. So in this activity, the teacher arranges the students into 2 concentric circles. So you have an inside circle of chairs facing inwards, and also a ring of chairs around the outside. So learners then come and sit down either in the inner circle or the outer circle. Now the key here, or the key instruction, or the key rule, is that the learners in the inner circle have the freedom to speak. Those on the outside circle must be listeners, active listeners. They cannot speak. You then set one of these example discussion questions. Those in the inner circle can freely discuss their opinions to this question. If somebody in the outer circle has an opinion, they can tap one learner in the inner circle. They then swap places with that learner, and then they can take part in the activity. So anyone on the outside circle can tap in at any time and then add to that discussion. So good luck with helping guide or scaffold the learning for your learners, both at the macro and at the micro level.